So it's good. Yep. Yeah. All right. I'll shut her down when they finish. Yep. Good. Okay. All right. Thanks.
We're going to call the meeting to order at this time. These proceedings are being recorded for the purpose of constituting the accuracy of written minutes. Tapes are reused, eliminating recorded records of these proceedings. The meetings will be in perpetuity on Facebook. May I please ask that we have a moment of silence? You may be all prepared for the allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to take roll call at this present time. Frank is absent. I am here. Peggy? Here. Dr. Dawn? Here. Christina? Here. Did everyone get a chance to see the minutes? Yep. Anybody have any additions or corrections? No. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second. And then Peggy, we have to sign this then. Okay, at this time, I'd like to introduce the guests that we have in attendance today. We have Mr. Nostine, and we have Mr. Honor, and Mr. YOuaKhqU7kQ. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our guest from YOuaKhqU Humane Society, Mr. Hal Warner, and Mr. Stephen Martucci.
Thank you, Terry.
Sorry,
Hal, any day. No problem.
You're right. Yeah.
sorry.
Sorry.
All right, so we actually gave you a very long list of questions, and someone was very nice to fill them out. Do you want to jump right in, or should we use the questions as a launching point for?
Yeah, I think you can see what you'd like for me to expand on.
Okay.
I try to keep it as brief as possible so that it would answer most of your questions without
I have
letting a book.
a few. The very first question, and I think this is a good question, is, in your opinion, what are the top 3 liabilities of the shelter?
But your shelter or ours?
Shelter in general.
Your bite risks, your cat risks, your cat scratches. If you're sending people out on calls, that's always a risk for any liability exposure. And then exposure to your guests that are coming in to work with dogs, cats, and then exposure for volunteers.
This may be obvious, but I don't know the answer. Has the shelter always been, is it public-private? Is the Humane Society public-private, or is it totally public?
It's a private 501c3.
Okay,
It has been since 1906.
1906.
Yes. So in that sense, we don't receive any public funding outside of services that we provide to some municipalities.
So you rely on,
Sorry, can I interject? Can I ask,
Sure.
have any of you all visited Hal?
I've been down there, yeah,
I
multiple
have,
times.
yeah.
I wonder if we could let Hal just give kind of an overview of their shelter, just so we have a little bit of context, because the scale and scope, compared to what we have and what they have, I think that would be great. Yeah.
I think we're a little bit. We have more experience, so we have more time to be where we're at. So we're about a $2.4 million operation. About $1 million of that comes from our public fundraising, which we do in-house. Another 600,000 comes from our shelter operations, which is adoptions, licenses, dog training, grooming services. And then the rest of that comes from our community veterinary clinic, where we provide high quality medical care at affordable prices. One of the reasons that we raise money at such a breakneck speed that we do is because we provide financial assistance for medical services to those who can't afford it. So we attack pet homelessness through a variety of different ways, through our adoptions department, where we employ 2 full-time adoption specialists, through our community vet clinic, where we provide, low-cost care, and then on top of that, financial assistance in order to keep pets in the homes where they belong. So we have capacity for a little over 90 dogs at any given time, 175 cats at any given time, 20 to 30 small animals such as guinea pigs, rabbits, gerbils, hamsters, depending on whatever we have to pull out of a house or anything like that, or what gets surrendered. So we employ the county's only full-time humane police officer, which enforces animal cruelty laws throughout the county. She's a licensed police officer that can bring charges when necessary. We provide animal control services for several different municipalities, Allentown being our largest partner. There's about 10 other municipalities we provide limited scope of animal control services, whereas Allentown, we're very comprehensive with that. So we provide 24-hour coverage for them. Our other municipal partners, we don't provide 24-hour coverage. It's pretty much 9 to 8 at night, and then they have access to our night drop area. So it's a pretty comprehensive facility. We employ 26 full-time employees and about 9 part-time. We have 2 people who work full-time in our development office raising money. We have a full-time director of operations, a full-time facility manager, and then our front desk personnel is our full-time as well. And we have a full-time events coordinator too. We throw 4 big special events a year. We have a garden party, we have a golf tournament, and then we have 2 first bingos. All combined probably raise $250,000 a year for us.
And the community thing. I mean, for the local community.
and when you talk about these partnerships, is there a fee that comes along with that, or what designates this as a partnership? What makes that?
So we don't perceive ourselves as a vendor for any of these municipalities. Everything we do is more like a partnership. So we want to make sure that the animals come first, and that the municipality has that mindset, that we have that mindset, that we're going to serve the community, we're going to serve the animals, and it has to be a 2-way street. It's not a transaction for us, so to speak. So we want to make sure that that's understood by our municipal partners, that it's we try and make sure it's a lifelong connection that we have with them, because it's such a critical service, and that if it becomes less than a partnership, then it becomes a transactional piece where the animals might get lost in that process, and we don't want that to happen.
So what would, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn or whatever, what would the partnership look like what are we looking to do, you guys in Carbon County? What kind of partnership would that look like?
Well, we should probably step back because we were invited here today. So although we want to jump into whatever you want, Dr. Dawn, we had this on the books for a while, Chris. So Hal's been positioned himself as a real consultant to Chris as you were establishing this committee. The board always supports everything that Hal does. including the renovation that he just went through and led us through, 1,000 animals saved last year. So we're happy to jump into that, but it almost is not, and nothing should be our, right? We're just here to hear what the goal was. We booked this a long time ago. So I almost want to step back and like, why are we here? The questions are very valid.
Right.
Hal just gave a great overview, but is there a way that we could like reset and just understand kind of where Carbon County is coming from with us being here today? Like, how can we be the most helpful? Sure.
I think part of the issue is do we want to be how it is now, or do we want to be 501c or public-private? And to be quite honest, as we're going through this process, I can definitely see the benefits of being either a 501c or public-private.
Right.
I can see that. I feel like the way we are now is limited in a lot of respects. And I feel we could do better for the animals. So I guess we would need your guidance on how to go about that process and how long would it take? What do we have to do? Maybe I'm in over my head right now, but that's what I think about when I'm, tooling along on the road. It's like, how do we get there? What do we do? How long is it going to take? How does it affect the current state of affairs as far as employees and everything at the shelter?
I think we're here just to do whatever's in the best interest of Carbon County and Lehigh County, obviously. Just for full transparency, I come from the YMCA. I spent most of my life in the YMCA, where I went through, partnerships with other Ys, shared services contracts with other Ys, mergers with other Ys. So there's lots of ways to tackle any kind of beast that you might be looking at that's productive for each different, whatever the community needs, right? So we want to do what's in the best interest of that. Would we like to see shared services between Carbon County and Lehigh County? Absolutely. Anytime you combine resources, whether it's administrative costs, development expertise, management expertise, resources, then the communities benefit, the animals benefit, the people that are involved in those organizations benefit. So, I think there's lots of ways that you can look at what the eventual outcome might be. The eventual outcome might be that Carbon County remains all by itself and develops, organically as it could, develop. There's lots of things. It depends on, your openness to, and I guess my board's openness to exploring, shared services between the two counties. It's obviously worked for the Chamber of Commerce from my perspective. I'm on the board of the Southern Lehigh Chamber, which is an affiliated chamber of the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber. So I've worked with Tony Ionelli. I've had conversations with him about, what that process looked like for him when Carbon County Chamber and the Lehigh Valley Chamber merged, and what kind of outcome has been for that. And from what I understand, it's been very positive for Carbon County's chamber. It's been very positive for the Lehigh County Chamber. So those relationships already exist, and those partnerships already exist between the two counties. So again, we're here to do whatever is in the best interest of LVHS, Carbon County, the animals, and the communities that are there. There's no, we want to come and because having been through mergers with the Y, there's always like this big guy comes, this big organization coming in, and stamping down on new territory. That's certainly not what we want to accomplish here.
Right.
If I might add, right, the first thing about any collaboration is establishing a relationship, right? And right now we have an opportunity of an extremely experienced both staff and board that we can take difficult lessons learned that they have experienced and take what works for them and see if it might help us be a better, a safer, more effective, more efficient shelter, right? And as the relationship establishes at the primary level, having conversations, being able to call someone and say, hey, we're having this challenge. Have you experienced? How did you guys handle it? That's great. Now we can apply it to a Carbon County problem set, unique environment. Build trust, build relationship, and then let it naturally develop to, the question number 11 and number 12. But I think really everything has to start with number 10. How do we create a coordinated, constructive collaboration between the two organizations? Because we have a common goal, animal welfare, taking care of the animals, taking care of our people, taking care of the visitors to our shelter. And that comes from a relaxing conversation, not necessarily sitting down here and going through 1 to 15. But hey, you know what? I'm curious, guys. How the heck do you deal with this problem we're having? Right? It has to loosen up. The first thing I noticed when I came in here, wow, tense. Whereas it should be, hey, break open a Coke or Pepsi. Let's have a conversation.
I think
About-
it's because
yeah.
it's mixed. I personally feel that way.
Yeah.
I guess, so we have Carbon County Animal Shelter that has been run this way, very, very primitive. I get that. And then you guys are amazing. And that there's no doubt there at all. I think
Let me just stop you. We were not amazing 5 years ago. Okay, so
Gotcha,
six years ago, we were killing a lot of animals.
gotcha.
And it's been a lot of work through our board and their commitment to supporting the staff in an effort to say, we're gonna be something else.
Right.
So, and it hasn't been an easy 6 years.
It's definitely been a process, huh?
Yeah.
But if we are keeping Carbon County Animal Shelter as Carbon County Animal Shelter and just using you guys as a wonderful resource, I get it. I feel like we're being pressured that there's got to be this partnership and that's eventually where it's going. So there's a little bit of a hold on here a second. I just don't feel like I want people coming in here and being like, okay, well, this is what's going to happen and blah, 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 almost like a threat, not directed by you guys in any means. But if that is something, are we looking to that be our final goal? Or are we looking to be two completely separate entities, just using you guys as resources? That's why I was curious, what is the ultimate goal? Is your goal to come in and take over because you were led to believe that's what we were looking for? Or do you understand? Maybe I'm over speaking. That's just kind of the feeling that I got.
There's never an over speaking. You should always establish like the concerns right away. That is not our goal. We were driving up here. We've been talking about this for 2 years. We met Chris 2 years ago.
Yeah.
This is a conversation. And we're finally both in the room. And your concerns are completely valid to the people and the animals of Carbon County. We want to help. And any vision has to be a shared vision. So it doesn't really matter what we think, but let's dispel that right away.
And I think with any successful merger, can I call you doctor?
You can call me whatever you want.
Doctor. That there is any merger that I've ever been through, and this is so far down the road, right? Because financially, it has to make sense for both sides. That there's boards that are set up at both organizations
Right.
to help define what it means to its community. So I know in my past, with mergers with the Y, you would have a board here at this branch, board here at this branch, and then both of those boards would make up the greater management structure. So both of those individual boards, from a simplistic view, has kind of the determination of how it's going to serve its community within the umbrella of what the higher board would manage. Now, there's risk for both sides with anything like that, as there is always, right? So the risk to me would be that the overall board would want to terminate me, get a different CEO. So, but I think you have to look at even when that's occurred, and it has occurred in the past, it works out better for the communities because you're saving on management fees, you're saving on development fees. Donors love it when organizations work together, so you can raise more money instead of Chris over there giving $100. Now he's compelled to give $200 because he's supporting a bigger organization. So but that's so far down the road. You have so many passive divergence in between where we're at right now and what would have to occur for any of that to
And
happen.
I think to simplify what you're saying is, so a few months ago, I suggested being a best friends network partner.
Right.
Because it would be a really awesome idea. and that did not go through. So it's like, how can we do we can't even do something as simple as that. So I think for the board, it seems scary then to be like partnering with someone much bigger than something as simple as being a network partner with best friends. And that's, I get what you're saying. I mean, I don't feel that way with you guys, because I've been down there and I know what you guys do and everything, and I see it differently because I come from nonprofit.
Yeah.
So I definitely have a different perspective of it, but
And I was just gonna say that we all come from such different backgrounds,
Yeah.
and we on the board have such different backgrounds. And very honestly, we're still learning how all of this works. And I think that's part of the tension
Sure.
that was in the room, was I wasn't quite sure what to expect. And,
I think, just to be honest, you can dispel any misgivings you have. I mean, Steve, 20 years ago with me, might have been different, but at my age now, and with everything in hindsight that I can look back on, I can say that we're coming to this with our hands in our pockets and just saying, hey, let's
Right.
figure out what's best for both communities. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, there's risks to both sides for any of this. So
if I would want to come down and visit your facility,
anytime,
how can I facilitate that?
Just
Do
shoot
I
me an
make an
email.
appointment or,
just shoot me an email the day before and I'll make sure I'm there.
okay, is one day better than another?
No.
Okay,
Then I'll do what I can do there.
okay.
I'll do what I can do there as well.
Or our vice chair. How is it going as being a board? Like, it's been a year, right? How are you holding up? It's a challenging road.
Great.
Don,
You want an answer to that?
and Terry,
I think,
No, we just had a major shift in personnel, so
Yeah.
that's part of the other tension that we feel is, I'm kind of, doing the
It's
best
a
I
work
can.
in progress
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
this
it's a
is
work in
all
progress.
brand new
To
to
all of
any of
us.
us.
Yeah.
But I think we've done a very good job. We have created forms, we've created procedures, we've created more organization than has been there in the past, God, 30 years.
it's great.
In just that short period of time. And that's why I think a lot of this is just like break the bus a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
we are moving full speed ahead, holy cow, and I don't want to miss anything. But I also want to do exactly the same thing. What is best for the shelter? And I don't know enough about it
Yeah.
to make that call. And I feel like others too just don't understand, and I just want to make sure everybody is
Right.
completely understanding.
I think what I left out when I described what we've done in the last 6 years is that we've really like flipped animal welfare on its head. So where I come from in the Y, we have this philosophy of for all. And the same thing, if you want your kid in summer camp or swim lessons, or if you want to be a member, we were going to figure out a way to make that happen, that we believe that everybody had the right to access to that. So, we believe in the same thing with animal welfare now, that if you want a pet, a good home, we're going to try and figure out a way to make that work for you, whether it's through our food bank, whether it's through our vet clinic, any of those things. We're just going to try and figure out a way to make it work. And we've just kind of transitioned this concept of an animal shelter, just being an animal shelter, to now people view us as a community support organization, much on the same level as a YMCA or a Boys and Girls Club. People call us when they need us. And it's really a neat thing to have seen that transition just from an animal shelter into a community support organization, which has been like probably when I retire, the happiest thing I've ever been able to be a part of.
And I think we're moving in that direction because there has been suggestions like a food bank or, like starter kits for the dogs. And so we are moving that way. I think it's going to take us a little bit longer to get there. But now we're in the process of putting together the volunteer handbook, and we have a basic outline. And so my next thing that I'm ruminating is we need guidance on how to get to the meat and guts of that. I mean, you did,
I feel like implementing it
yeah,
is going to be the hardest. It's
Well,
not making.
we have to get the policy first, but
Right,
then
yeah.
the next hard thing is going to be making it work in real time.
For the
So-
staff up there.
Right,
Yeah.
for the staff.
Yeah.
So, and the staff up there is great, but they're still learning, again, they're getting things thrown at them that were never thrown at them before. So everybody's trying to find their place.
It's great. It's exciting.
A lot of change
Yes.
management.
Yeah.
A lot of, What is your greatest concern right now? What is your greatest pain that you're trying to solve for? Staff,
Staff.
recruitment, maintaining.
Finding,
Finding.
recruitment, and maintaining all of that. There's one person pretty much up there, yep, and then we now have the new receptionist who's doing a very good job as well, but it's the support. Like you mentioned about how you have people that go out. Tom's the only one that goes out to get the dogs and do that, and there's Ariel too, but it's finding people who are willing to do that. For example, and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but Tom is the majority of the one who works with these dogs. He has some support staff, but they're very limited in time.
Yeah.
They're very limited as far as what they'll do. They won't take these dogs out because they're afraid of them. So he's the only one that's able to deal with them,
Yeah.
but he's also the one that has to go on the calls. Where there are volunteers like Miss Peggy who are always down there, but it's hard to find volunteers too, who will come in there
Yeah.
and also be able to help support without being cautious with liability.
That
You know?
budget issue for the staffing, is that a budget issue?
I guess it's finding competent workers who will be able to do the work for sometimes. Yes, I think some of it is just what we're able to pay them, as well as the hours and so forth. I think create a real problem.
We are just, we are up over, what, $13 an hour for kennel workers, where 2 years ago, we were down 10.25. So it is. I mean, just everyone now is up over 13 in the county, to include shelter workers of the lowest level, kennel cleaners and
I
such.
think,
Starting there.
talking about the personnel, I think it's dire need of another full-time that, alternating days, changing the shifts, maybe to 4 10-hour days or whatever. But, developing another full-time position with a person that's qualified or has the ability to go out like Tom and handle the dogs. Our lawsuits have been people that not the best experience or not really realizing how temperamental some of the dogs can be if you just move the wrong way and they gotcha. So
I think it was since the study, we created the 2 additional full-time positions. You can't keep them, can't get them filled,
can't get them
Bill.
filled.
Right.
Okay.
Maintain 'em.
Yeah.
Who owns hiring for that? Is it Tom or the board?
Who
Who owns hiring for those roles? Tom or the board?
The commissioner.
Well, the commissioners, but we
Okay.
delegate to Tom HR, and we have an admin coordinator who helps conduct the interviews. Part of the problem is, and again, we're speaking candidly here, is right. The standard of the person you want isn't necessarily the person you're going to get, right? You have to be willing to invest time and effort in training someone. So the characteristics you're looking for isn't the person who has 5 years of kennel experience. It's the person who's willing to learn, maybe someone who won't be afraid with proper training to work with the dogs. So it's a unique, selection process, because I think the focus has been, well, we want someone who can do everything from day one. No, we're going to have to invest the time and effort to train them, educate them, prepare them for increasing responsibility. I think that has hurt us.
We need someone with a really good work ethic who's willing to go the mile to be trained,
Yeah.
who has a little, I hate to say it, but a little bit of common sense. And has stick-to-itiveness. Sometimes we get people and they don't stay because the job's too hard, or
It is a hard job.
it is a hard job. I know it's a hard job.
Plus it's nights, it's weekends, it's holidays. And it's very hard to find people who are not wanting to work just 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Right. So, and again, this is where we've stumbled on some of the programs. Christy and I have stumbled because it's hard to get something up and running when you don't have staff.
I think for me too, it's about that, like, I know you guys talk about it and I did my internship at Best Friends, so I'm like a big Best Friend supporter.
yeah.
However, it's all about like including everyone, having that support. And I feel right now, it's helping to not have that. Like right now, they just have Tom and Tom is burnt out for obvious reasons. And I feel that's, to me, that's what's missing is that kind of having, you know, that support for, yeah, and a mission, yeah.
Passion and service.
Mhm.
They're overwhelmed, like you said, and to introduce anything new is like, just can't.
Yeah, and it feels like that needs to be like its own meeting to have like a talk and not even a meeting like Facebook Live, but just kind of like you're saying, like sitting around just talking with all the staff. And I know that's hard because Tom's working and all that, but having just kind of a hangout and being like, this is for the best, like we're trying to make it,
Right.
you know, for everyone.
I think he feels threatened
Yeah,
by
totally.
what it is, he's threatened.
Yeah.
And I don't think he should be. But that's the
Yeah.
way,
I think
that's just the way he
like,
feels
big
about it.
Organization like sometimes comes in, in handy. You get a greater sense of mission, belonging, support. So I think there'd be benefits to the Carbon County Shelter in that respect. What kind of fundraising are you doing right now, if I can ask? Any?
No,
Well,
they don't.
legally, we
Yeah, it's kind of weird
can't
for,
because of the government entity, then we'd have to go into IRS reporting requirements. But as people donate, that's fine. But once we would start any formal solicitation, well, then that puts bureaucratic demands on the county that we.
but could a pseudo partnership raise money on behalf of the Carbon County Animal Shelter? I mean, it wouldn't have to come directly from a contracted service with the Carbon County Commissioners.
I think it's good and bad.
Hal and Steve's friends of Carbon County.
Right, yeah.
Right.
What this advisory committee here to,
They could raise money for you guys.
well, I don't want them, they have businesses, they're all busy, they're working and, you know, for them to go out and do a lot of the fundraising, I really against it. If they want to do it, fine, but they got lives, they got children, they're busy.
Again, that's where shared services will come into play. Like,
Right.
I'm a really good fundraiser.
There's a lot of organizations in the county that have fundraisers. So for example, Radical Wine Company will have a function and they will give 20% of their proceeds to the shelter. So that's how fundraising is.
That's okay. It's an IRS report.
One of the drawbacks of being the county owned is I don't think we get as many donations because they think it's just going to the county pockets and that
Right.
it's not going to the animals, and but it is. I mean, every penny that comes in that's donated is going to the animals.
That's just like a
That's the
misunderstanding,
messaging, right?
yeah, with the public and then
Yeah,
the
they don't
government.
like the,
No,
Carbon County's name is on there. It's terrible.
Yeah.
donations that just came in.
Okay. And then they get used.
Yes, they get.
Do you have any trust funds or anything that you receive funds for?
We get requests from time to time, like a state trust fund.
We have like two trust funds that we get regular dividends from to the bank.
That's from.
And I think my biggest concern is losing those trust funds. You know, if the families, I don't know how they feel about, you know, a joint venture because they donated to Carbon County Animal Shelter. The one built a shelter basically with the donations. And I think that's a major concern of mine and probably the families of those people that set up these trust funds. So,
You know the families?
Well, the Value Trust is.
I don't want the families really exist.
But I would assume that they gave the money to support the animals of Carbon County and not specifically to keep. I would imagine that as long as the funds are still going to support the animals of
Yeah,
Yeah.
Carbon County, then
but
that's
Harper,
what it was
in a
intended for.
partnership, I guess there's a way we just have to ensure that
That's a conversation.
whether it be the fundraising or the donations or trust funds, et cetera. And we're requested funds as well from people passing away. So we'd want to make sure that people wouldn't lose that trust in giving to that.
Yeah, we
I
recently did
agree.
that with the Dimmick Memorial Library. We have the Dimmick Trust for Dimmick Memorial Library. The Dimmick Memorial Library, we assumed a branch library, the Penn Kidder branch. Interesting, we can only, or when I was on the board, we could only use the Dimmick Trust money for the Dimmick Library in downtown Jim Thorpe. You could not use even a penny of it to support its branch library. You know, those nuances that Wayne's talking about where, you know, yeah.
Well, that's the intent of the gift and you have to honor that.
Right, yeah.
Sure. So concerns about different requests and how they're handled, that's a concern. And staffing is your number one concern right now, and you're really focused on one person that knows a lot and is doing the majority of the work, and everyone's grateful for that person, but it's a risk, but it's also a strength. That person's highly helpful to the organization. What else are your concerns as a advisory board, commissioner group?
Well, understanding I think, and we have this because they're not a nonprofit board, they're not an authority, so they really don't have independent authority. They're an advisory board.
Okay, so they advise the commissioners.
So things tend to go slow.
Okay.
Because while the shelter is important to all of us, it's not always our number one priority.
Right.
So while obviously we want them to move forward and move expeditiously when it's necessary, you know, we have requirements, higher priorities that have to be addressed. You know, we only formally meet once a week to make, you know, public decisions. So, I mean, it's unique for them to have to operate, maybe slow down a little bit, because guess what? You know, all of us in the county are doing 99 other things other than the animal shelter. So I think they have some frustration. I've seen some frustration with that. And that's part of the education. Saying this is how county government works, you know, and we do our best to try to educate them and help them understand.
Chris, would the county ever want to just spin it off into a separate entity?
I think we'd always want the Carbon County Animal Shelter as a completely like, let someone else deal with it. I mean, I think there's a county position, county government position, then there's individual positions. You know, I think as a county, we value the shelter, but my personal opinion is it could be much better. For the animals, for the people, for the visitors, for the employees.
Even with a separate entity.
A public-private partnership.
I would not support that
Yeah.
unless we have a complete support of the advisory commissioners and the public.
Yeah.
Before I even support something like that. I want to make sure that, hey, everybody's gonna be happy with the outcome, and I think if we were to move forward, we would have to sell the product. That's what we have to do. We have to prove to the people that this is in the best interest of the animal shelters. You know, as advised by, listen to the advisory board, whatever you think is, certainly open to your suggestions, concerns, etc.
I'm just curious as to like what the perceived downsides would be to spin it off into its own 501c3 and.
Well, I think that some of the stuff even with the county can even have it on site on county property.
Right.
You know, that's gonna be one of the issues. I said the value trust that has a couple $100,000 in it. And I just can't see where a partnership is gonna get us employees. I think we're gonna have an issue no matter what it is. And I think one of the things I think in our HR is looking into it, and it worked at our prison. We had a job fair. You know, we never did anything like that. And I think we got deterred. I think there was somebody that was actually doing a fundraiser for us and gave us the money. And then there was a big hoax on what was going on. And I think that deterred other organizations from giving to us, because I get all the donations. Yesterday, I got $1,000 again. And I think this week I'll probably have 2,000. So I see the money that comes in and it's not near enough. But I think there are different ways. I think we're, how could I say it? We're not encouraging people to give money to us. You know, I think sometimes there's negative publicity on it or, you know, media. And I don't think that's the way it should go. I mean, we should be encouraging people if they want to give money, and there's so many dog lovers here. You know, and I know you're talking about the cats, and yours is a little bit different because you have cats also. But I think our number one issue is staffing. And if we would go into a partnership, where is it going to make the staffing any better for us? And when connected with our police departments, what are you going to do? Are you going to charge the police departments more, or what are we going to do? Now it starts turning into a business, and it's not a service for the entire county. I mean, that's the way I look at it, because our police departments, and even, in fact, when I was up there, the state police actually even like coming here because they even assist the state police on certain things. So I think when we're getting a little bit off a track from going to a 501c, it's going to change the whole dynamics of this. And I don't think that was the intent of the donations we get from the people. And I always said, I think if we would get rid of the dog shelter, I think the three commissioners would be hanging over the bridge. I mean, it's like, I mean, the people like the dog shelter. There's no question about that. And my question is to you, where would we get more employees with a 501c? I don't see you're going to get it. I think maybe with a job fair, we did it up at the prison. We couldn't get anybody at the prison. We had actually, I think, 10 people sign up from the job fair. So do people actually come here and think like, I don't know what to do at the dog shelter? If you explain to them, okay, this is the way the guillotine door works. It's safe. You can do this. Explain what each job is. Then it's a little bit different. You got people that can walk the calm dog. And then you got other people that walk a different type of dog. And I don't think that was ever explained to anybody when they come to apply. I mean, it's a dog, and it's like, and then they read in the paper that the dog bit somebody, and we had last week of his $40,000 lawsuit. So that, I think, scares people, and people that really want to help, that not every dog is going to bite you. You know, I mean, there's always a chance, but because it's a strange person. But I think defining which person works with that dog is, I think, where our problem is. I think we have to define it and maybe have a job fair and say, okay, this is what it is. This is how, you know, a low impact dog, if you want to say it is, and a high risk dog, to try to explain something to people, because we've always had trouble hiring people. And I just don't see going into a 501c where we're going to hire people unless you're bringing somebody from someplace else, giving them more money, and then you're going to charge the public, or either, like I said, every entity. I mean, I think we just did put their fee up a couple bucks for the police departments, but now are we going to get into it that we're going to have to charge them $5,000 for each police department? You know, and I don't think we need to get to that. I think we have to hit on getting people that want to help and show them what they can do. You know, like I said, our application, you're working with dogs. And then, like I said, the next week they see somebody's bitten. Well, nobody wants that. You know, no, it doesn't matter. You know, if we have somebody up at the prison and somebody would get shot, nobody wants to work at the prison. That's almost like the same thing here. So, I mean, I think we have to focus on getting people here and showing them what the dog shelter is about.
Who owns that? Who owns this evangelizing of the shelter and the roles? It sounds like Tom. Sounds like Tom is all things. This is my concern as I'm a third
Point of failure.
I'm a third party, right? So like our number one success is Hal.
Right.
Hal leads the shelter and operation. The board doesn't touch that. So when things go well and Chris, you know, reaches out to us, it's because of Hal. We've turned it around, and you said, Rocky, a business. It has to be a mission-driven business, and thinking about it like a business is the number one thing the board has done to move us from 1906 to now that we are leading in animal welfare, is treating it like a CEO of a business. That's what the board does, and they have a CEO. We have a CEO. So that's my takeaways from what you're saying. It is a business. it's a mission-driven business and it needs to be run by a business person that has a massive heart. And I think that's, those are the takeaways I have after being on here since 2017. And then we got rid of the freezer where animals used to be, and they were getting, properly disposed of. And we don't have that because of a mission, people buying into it, and the community then coming with us for the ride because we treated it like a mission that's going to do what the donors, what the community wants. Like you said, you'd be by the bridge, right? Because people love it. Well, what's there to love? They're loving the hope. So how do we get more hope? And I'm not saying we, but how does this group get more hope without us? And that's what we want for you. We're happy to be part of it. And we've got some ideas, and a lot of it has to do with leadership. That's the biggest concern I have is leadership.
Well, and I'm not taking anything away from the advisory board, but we had, I think you did a study here and we knew all these things that we're doing. And there's a lot of things that we're doing, but I said, going back to it, I think we have to focus, and even maybe the three of us as commissioners are failing and not telling Tom what to do. You know what I mean? Like, should the advisory board be telling us like what has to be done here to correct it? And then we'll implement it. I mean, where is it failing? And like I said, I think I just don't see where we're gonna get employees by, we gotta try something different to get employees. And I think one of the big things is having a job fair or something and explain it to the people how it is. I mean,
Operating the way that you're operating right now, you won't keep the employees. You can have job fair after job fair and hire person after person, but from what I'm hearing, they're gonna walk out after 2 days.
Yeah.
So to be in all honesty, unless you're proselytizing this mission of what the animal shelter is and does, and how it serves the community, you're not gonna build up a base of believers. And those base of believers are your board and your employees. And once they start believing, you can start building this avalanche of community belief in your organization. They're not gonna care whether you're owned by the county. They're not gonna care whether you're a 501c3. They're not gonna care if the animal shelter is owned by Chick-fil-A. Because you're gonna have built up this passion from the community. You're gonna build up this sense of mission of driving animal welfare within Carbon County and serving X number of animals more than you've ever served before, and more adopters than you've ever had come in through your doors before. And people are going to want to be a part of that. Your volunteers are going to want to come and be a part of that. Your businesses here in the community are going to write checks to support your mission. They're going to be thankful that their county is no longer supporting as much of the operational side of this animal shelter as it was before, because now your businesses and your local philanthropists are supporting it at an even greater level. They're going to understand that you're providing your access to medical care through Dr. Don, or food through your animal food bank that you have on site, or you're providing opportunities for injured animals to come in and rehabilitate and then be rescued. So you're building up this church, if you will, in your community that is your animal shelter. That is this place that people come to be a part of something bigger than what it is currently. That's from my heart. That's what you have to do.
And that's what we all want to do. But how the heck do you get there?
Well, the thing of it is, to be very honest and candid, you can't be afraid of change
Right.
and move forward at the same time. And
Yes.
that's where I feel the most frustrating feeling being a board member is we have to have change. Something has to give. And we can put all these policies in place and we can ask everybody to do this stuff, but until there's some kind of core acceptance that things have to change, nothing will change.
I mean, even when I did the volunteer program, which we will talk about, the draft I did, the mission statement, I went on to the county just because I didn't want to make my own. So I went on there, and it's one sentence. It has no passion within it. And I read it as a public, not as a board member, not in, and I'm like, I wouldn't want to go there because it's bland.
And the board has discussed publicity, proper positive publicity, and that has somehow gone by the wayside. And for a while, donations were going into a pot, so to speak, and now they're categorized as a separate entity. And everybody still thinks, the whole world in Carbon County thinks that it still goes into a pot. And so, you know, something needs to be done on a public level somehow, I don't know how, but to help people understand that this money is going towards the shelter. So there's so many things that need to be fixed and reconstructed and torn down.
Yeah, we were there 6 years ago.
Right,
And that's not I don't want to speak out of turn, but I don't see that as the commissioner's job, that role, the three of you as a cohort, and it's not a board job. That's an operational leadership job that has to do with PR, communications, setting policies, training people, hiring people, and working with the county to make sure we don't have bites, which we had a lot of problem with biting. And I don't know if it was lawsuits or what we call it, workers' comp. There's a lot of workers' comp issues. So I just want to separate out mission and who's in charge of mission and who has to do work.
right.
Because the board is helped to guide and protect the organization. That's the commissioner, and that's you all. That's my job, and that's the people that I work with. And by the way, people want to fight to get on our board, and we're now sifting through them.
I want to come on your board right now.
When I came, it was a group of us like this. Just so you know, so like, it's not that far away.
Right,
I was like this and we were fighting. Now people want to join us,
Right.
and they're going to lunches and doing whatever needs to be done to make sure they're the right fit for our organization. But back to like, and then there needs to be a separation out. So if this is all Tom's job, and I want to do all respect, like he's doing a lot of work, but like, is that going to work? Or is he understaffed himself? Like, it sounds like he's understaffed.
Yeah.
This can't work.
but I think, to be honest, very honest, I think, and I am guilty of this in some regard, I feel like I'm the only one that can do it.
Okay.
I
Hero syndrome, heroin syndrome, that thing.
So if you're doing something for so many years and you have a process and somebody else comes in, that protocol has to be broken to now train somebody, and then, you see what I'm saying? It's a snowball effect.
Okay.
So when I learned as an individual to ask for help, my life got better.
Okay.
So there's complaining, and then there's willingness to accept help. It can't be both ways,
Vulnerability.
right?
Okay. It's good insight. Well, hopefully we've shown that we're not here to fix anything. This is a sounding board, and
The exciting part is that you have this opportunity in front of you, right? I think one of the most exciting things for me when I came to Lehigh Valley was Steve and I didn't have anywhere to go but up. Like we honestly, he's not lying. At the first board meeting I attended, I thought they were gonna kill each other. And these are people who had been working together for 3 or 4 years at a time. And they were yelling. I think somebody threw something at one point. But we really created a great board, and somebody's gonna take some arrows. It might be you. Somebody's gonna take some arrows along the way, no matter what path you choose.
Right.
But you can, even if you choose to stay exactly the same, you're going to catch some arrows, right? I mean, you can stay exactly the same as you are for the last 30 years, and someone's gonna show up at your commissioners meetings at some point and shoot you with an arrow. You know, you're gonna take some bar, whether it's on social media, in the newspaper, out on the town square. Somebody's gonna catch some flack. I caught my share in the first couple of years, for sure. But the light at the end of the tunnel says that you're gonna catch a lot less if you're doing things for the right reasons. There's never a wrong time to do the right thing.
Right.
And as long as you maintain that philosophy and keep moving forward, the arrows aren't gonna be able to catch you, right? And then there's gonna be a lot of people, like Steve said, that want to say, hey, you know what? That boat's going down the river pretty fast. I think I want to jump on it. And there's gonna be a lot more people who want to jump into that boat with you that are gonna be shooting arrows at you from the shore. And like Steve said, we have people now who are signing up to wait 2 years for a possible seat on our 12-member board. Like, we had to create a whole new line in our bylaws to allow 5 ad hoc members so that these people can wait 3 years to sit on our board. We're at a crazy place right now. And, so it's, all of this is, no matter what path you take, as long as you're moving forward, you're gonna end up there. So
We can't be afraid of stepping on toes.
you
have-
cannot,
We have to.
you're gonna have to step on some toes.
Yes.
No doubt. And Tom is a worker bee. Tom will do the work. He'll keep the kennels clean. He'll walk the dogs. He'll go out and capture he'll run down that loose cane corset for sure. But I don't think he's your leader in the community. I don't think he's the one that's gonna go out and proselytize and tell people about all the great, good stories that's happening. You know, we start every meeting that we have with the mission moments, you know, something that great that's happening within the organization or in your personal life. Steve's had, 14 daughters in the last 3 years. So you might talk about one of those 14 girls, at some point. But for us, it's all about like the good stuff. And as long as you have someone out there that's talking about the good stuff that's happening at the animal shelter, people are gonna want to be in that boat with you. I'm 100% certain of that. I've seen it for 28 years in nonprofits now. So just lead with your heart, do the right thing. Whatever the right thing is, just do it.
Stephen, I hate to interject, but are you guys able to sit through the meeting? Or
I
you
can
guys?
stay for a little bit longer.
All right, yeah, because I'd like to talk a little bit then, but I know they have their agenda to get through, you know?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. We are on item number 3, commissioners' comments. Do we have any comments from any of the commissioners?
You saw the email yesterday morning. I didn't see it. It didn't come to me. Rocky gave it to me before I sent Peggy an email, but the wrong address was wrong or something. I didn't
Yeah,
get
I
it.
think they had your.
Anyway, the talked to the solicitor and that will suffice, that email that we got as a resignation of Frank. It'll be put on the agenda for this Thursday. It'll be approved then, so that will leave a vacancy then. My question to you tonight is, or think about it, is you have any possible suggestions to fill the position? Do we go back to the applications we had previously? Or do we put it out at the meeting and talk about it? If somebody would like to come and talk about it, perhaps at the meeting under guests, we could, do a special, give somebody 2 or 3 minutes to talk about it a little bit. Should the media in particular have questions, what you really do and maybe what the issues are, to help bring to light maybe what that will do. We can talk about the possibility or the problems we're having in getting and retaining people at the shelter. So it's going to get some media coverage, and we normally have the Times News, Standard Speaker, and TV 13 are normally there.
Yeah.
So it's very seldom that any of them miss.
Yeah, and it would be good to have a board member. It'd be unique for the press, right? They hear us 3 talk all the time, right? It's not novel. It's, all the time. But for one of you guys to be the mouthpiece, and I think would be
Or
very
as many
positive.
that can
Yeah.
show up, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, that'd be very
When is
positive.
your meeting?
10:30 on Thursday morning,
Yeah.
every Thursday.
After dawn.
I'll see you. You're gonna comment on it.
At work or something. See, yeah. See if we can block off like 15 minutes, right?
No, I'm just, I'll let you know that the opportunities there, we don't want to exclude anyone by just inviting one person, the more the better, really.
So is the process something you're going to discuss at your meeting and then let
I
us
think
know?
so, even, or do we wait and hold the guest under, resignations? I don't know if we can bring it up since we don't have an official resignation. That's a legal question, maybe.
Yeah, I don't want to, because I'm not sure how all of the inner workings of the political system is, so I don't want to step on any toes.
So you won't step on any toes. We'll just call on you to, for some remarks on what the advisory board does and what it's all about, and that we're we'll be looking to, I guess we can just do it under guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it under guest, in the beginning of the meeting. That way, if you have to, leave or anything, you can leave. Depending if any others, I don't know, I'm not sure what's on the agenda yet. Who's coming?
Yeah, this week.
Holland's coming, so they'll be there. So, but we can arrange to put you on first if have to get back. And just discuss a little bit about the animal shelter, and
Is that this Thursday?
it's every Thursday. So, but this week is when we're gonna be accepting the resignation, so at that time is when we can stress the vacancies or vacancies that we have at the shelter at this time, you know, and the vacancy on a commission on the advisory board. If anyone is interested, so we're getting it out there without taking out an ad. We can still post it on the website, but
So I'm gonna throw myself under the bus and show up, is that the?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's it.
And this here with Christina, are you resigning also, or?
Yeah, I sent all you guys an email, but
Okay.
mine's the end of the year.
End of
I'm
the
going-
year.
Okay, okay.
I'm not doing anything crazy.
But I don't, is there any reason why the other applications that we had before to go back and ask them people? I mean, instead of advertising and,
That's what you're gonna decide at
that,
your meeting,
yeah, that.
well, yeah, it won't be decided at that meeting. I don't know.
what you're gonna talk about.
Something we could decide
Yeah.
tomorrow and put it on.
And I think maybe like put some kind of, and like I said, I want something newer. You know what I mean? And maybe this might be the start of it to say, okay, we need help here. Or this will fail. You know, do we give an ultimatum?
Where do I show up at 10:30?
And,
I'll tell you what, why don't you, if you're gonna come, park in the upper parking lot, just tell us what car you're driving, so
Okay.
you don't get it towed.
Okay,
We don't pay for
so
towing.
the meeting where we first met over there.
Yeah,
Okay.
the upper lot, just, give us your make, color, license number, so when they check, we'll
Okay,
cover you.
I'll throw myself under the bus and come.
So any of you sending that invitation to park there, we're.
Okay. All right, any more commissioners' comments?
Yeah, I'll say, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, want to thank Frank for his service this past year. He helped lay a solid foundation, getting the bylaws established. Would have been much more difficult and painful if we didn't have his input and his initial guidance. So thanks for him for his year of commitment to the shelter.
Anything else? Okay, we're moving right along to chairman's comments. I have none. And the Carbon County Animal Report is next. I have that in front of me. I'm sure you all have a copy, but you have it. To date, there are 2 open vacancies for personnel at the shelter. There's a full-time canine officer and there's a kennel worker part-time. All the other positions have been filled. Filled is animal warden, which is Tom. We have a clerical specialist, which is doing an awesome job. We have 3 canine officers that it has been filled. The revenue was $27,541. Expenses was $11,565. Monetary donations in the form of cash and checks was $2,475. There was $2,359.74 in food donations and $741 in supplies. Total number of dogs and total number of kennels is 16. The start of the month, there was 9 dogs. At the end of the month, there was 8. There was 4 adoptions. There was 1 owner surrender taken in. There was 4 hold and released back to owner. Dogs rehomed instead of being in the shelter were 6. Total in care is 9, and there was 2 either public or police calls. As far as, interior status, the donation of the cat kennels has been completed. The guillotine doors is 98% completed, fixed. There has been shelving added to the main storage room. As far as exterior, there was a repair to the ceiling. Outstanding work orders include signage for both exterior doors. And as far as vehicle status, there was nothing to report.
Can I ask a question that maybe the commissioners know? Who are all the canine part-time officers? I know Ariel. Who else?
We call it-
You don't know. Okay.
We can, get that
Julie.
information, no?
Julia, just part-time.
I thought we just had one resignation or it's gonna be on Thursdays,
Oh, you mean our,
part-time kennel workers.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I think we have we just received a resignation.
Oh, you did? So we're gonna have another vacancy.
Yeah, I think so.
Who's the one who just came back?
We also have an FMLA. I think it's an FMLA that just came up too.
Yeah.
And the HVAC is still projected to be done at the same time. It's just when they prepared it, I think they paired it like to send the paperwork.
Thank you.
But we do pen bid that is electronic, and they just had it set up a different way. Still, I think projected to be done in the summer.
The HVAC system is done by summer.
And it was just when they prepared it, like years, before we used to send the paperwork out to the contractors. They asked for it, we advertised it. Now it's on pen bid that's electronic.
When we have resignations, how are we getting better? How are we taking it in the exit survey? Is that something that we're as part of the process right now, or is that?
Well, I think we wanted to do exit interviews and nobody ever wants to do it. You know what I mean? And
Got it.
you know,
So not currently not current state.
Any other questions on the report? Committee reports, we just had the upgrade, the commentary on the HVAC system. Supposed to be done by summer.
So that's the entire system being redone. Right, $150,000 project. It's been a lot. One of the big projects. There's been a couple others, I think. And there's an air quality problem, of course, too. You guys remember the smell and stuff like that.
Yeah, new air handlers would be great.
Yeah.
And the guillotine door is 98% repaired. That's awesome. That'll make it safer for the shelter. And the cat kennel has been donated.
Do you have cats?
No,
No,
that's a different,
Separate entity.
yes.
Okay, so Brandon.
there
So
were
they-
cat kennels in the dog shelter.
They were
So,
just small kennels is what.
right,
Oh,
right. So in order to make more space for other things, they donated them.
they donate.
Yeah. Did they have cats at one time, I think?
Yes.
In the shelter, like
That's what it was
years and
set up
years ago.
for.
The volunteer program,
The draft,
the draft,
let's make, yeah.
the draft. Can I defer to you? Take that.
Yeah, sure. What do you want me to talk about it? Because everyone got it, right? Other than Stephen Howe, obviously, but everyone
Right.
got the email of the draft.
I did not bring it with me.
Yeah, I didn't bring it with me either. I should have. There was just like a few notes on it that I wrote on it.
Right,
Some, I know, maybe we'll be stepping on toes and others. My biggest concern is the title of Carbon County Animal Shelter, which I know sounds wild. But we have the cat shelter, which is obviously not with the county. And that's Carbon County Friends of Animals. And I'm just afraid that animal part, like I feel it should either say canine or dog. because there's only one species.
Right.
And I was just at the cat shelter today and someone called and was like, oh, is this a dog shelter? And they're like, no, we'll give you the number, which isn't a big deal.
Right.
But I feel it's misleading to the public. That says like animal shelter and we only have dogs. So that was one of my suggestions. That's not really with the volunteer program, but when I was writing it up, because I used your volunteer program as kind of just to help me, figure it out, and best friends. I used theirs kind of between the two. And that was just something where I noticed like they were really talking about the name and the mission statement and then like guiding principles. They were the main things.
So is it such that the advisory board should make a recommendation that we change the name?
I mean, if everyone agrees, I also know that's much bigger, you have to like talk to the solicitor and I don't know how.
It'd have to be a recommendation to the
Yeah.
commissioners to make it official.
I mean, I would say yes, that's my opinion, but it's up to you guys, what you guys think.
Most of the time, that's what we refer to them as, Carbon County Canine.
Yeah,
Just because, but it's just been because it was started as an animal shelter
right.
whole, and now it
It never
has
switched.
become, it
Yeah.
just never switched, but
Yeah,
I don't see why that would be a bad idea. Because Friends of Animals is a little bit misleading as well.
it is, right, but we can't,
Right,
I
that's
mean,
their
they're
deal.
separate, so,
Right,
yeah,
Agreed.
we can't go over there.
Animal shelter looks like with baby horses and
Right.
everything else.
And that's my fear too, that people might just like randomly go bring like a rabbit or something.
But are we then also limiting ourselves if we do try to turn
Yeah.
into something that we aren't allowed to take
That's true.
anything else but
Yeah.
canine
We don't ever take anything else, do we?
right now?
Right now, but yeah, she's
So
saying
what
like
about in the future if we choose to go that route? Are we
Right.
limiting ourselves?
Yeah. I didn't think of that.
Yeah,
It's a
just
good
something to
question.
think
Yeah.
about.
I looked at
Yeah.
when it was set up, how it was set up, or why it was set up that way, if it had anything to do with the trust fund from Gladys Mothrop.
I thought a lot of it was because each borough of the county had to have its own animal holding facility. And so then the animal shelter was created as a whole to be supported by those boroughs so that they had just one shelter.
Yeah.
And it was animals
Yeah.
as far as dogs and cats, I think only.
Yeah, one time the
And we-
police had put it in a cage in whatever municipality it was, and then the canine officer at that time would go out and pick them up.
Right. It
But
was
nobody
very
was really
crude.
taking care of the dogs, and that's how that really came about.
Right, it was very crude. It was just basically a holding facility.
Yeah.
And now it has grown already. And again, I'm kind of going back, but we talked about the freezer.
Yeah.
Probably 15, 20 years ago, there was a gentleman by the name of Bruce May who was in charge. And it was a kill shelter.
Right.
And that's exactly what we did too. And now we are non-kill. And it's amazing how that has evolved. So we're probably like 20 years behind y'all.
Yeah.
So,
great.
but yeah,
lot of the history.
oh, yeah, yeah. Just
We could talk
I've been
about
dealing
that
with them.
another time.
since I
That's
was
not
in
really
practice.
like
In
with
your
the
practice
volunteer.
and volunteering?
Yeah, I think we're gonna put that under further business.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that. Today. It was just something I thought of and brought up. But the other, I'm just looking it up on my phone, so I know. The other notes I put on there for specifically the volunteer program was, about, for like the volunteer application. Are we going to be doing that just online, or can they go up in person to do that? Like if you're interested in volunteering and you want to do the application, is it possible to do it online? Or are we, so that was like one of my questions. Also, will there be a fee if you're volunteering? Because I know you guys do a fee, like a small fee, it's not very large, but a small
They pay
fee.
you or you pay them?
They pay you then,
Ah.
yeah.
So that's something.
Yeah, so I didn't know, that was a question where like, is that something we're interested in doing?
It weeds out the people who sign up for orientations and don't show up.
It's like a $10, $15, pays for the
$10.
shirt, pays for a shirt.
Like a uniform?
Yeah, get the right. So those selection criteria.
Another question was, how will the volunteers schedule shifts, like in person or through an app like Volunteer Hub?
That's what we use.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what I was alluding to before, that we have to, we did the outline. Now, the next step is to get into the meat and guts of.
Yeah, right. So yeah, we did just, I did just wrote up kind of the, I wrote a mission statement, which I used the one off the website. Guiding principles. I used, another one was our staff commitment to you. Qualifications, volunteer opportunities, so like dog walking, obviously not cats, because we don't have cats. Other things like that, and then your volunteer commitment, so if you're volunteer, what they're, committing to the shelter. And basically, and then all the like rules and important information to know, about like cell phone use on places that like you shouldn't be in, areas. What else? Accidents or injuries, so all that kind of
All the
stuff.
categories that we have to put stuff.
And then a thank you, like if they would volunteer, thank you. So that's all on that draft. It's like, I think it's like 6 or 7 pages. And then, them questions were just stuff as I was doing it, I was like, oh, that would be good to talk amongst the board. And just see what we're thinking, so then we can suggest whatever we agree with.
I think, given the length of the meeting, and
Yeah.
I think we're gonna table this.
Oh, for sure, yeah, we can, yeah.
Could you get some numbers on monthly fee for Volunteer Hub, just so I have some,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's $10 a month or whatever.
Yeah.
With them, I'm familiar with that, it'd be great to know. The other thing, talk about mission statement, I would all recommend everyone go listen to Simon Sinek for 15 minutes and his why, right? His TED Talk on why, right? Simon Sinek, S-I-N-E-K. Yeah, he's, I think almost everyone knows him. You got to establish your why.
Yep.
And you talk about a mission, right? And then your how and your what.
It's critical.
Yeah. Right. If you guys aren't happy with the mission statement, you need to relook at that at some point. But it's a good 15 to 20 minutes of your time.
How can we share our contact information with you?
I'll pass it to Terry and let her disseminate it out, and Steve, if that's good.
I mean, anytime you want to come down and see what we're doing down there, you're more than welcome. I'll make myself available to you anytime.
What hours are you available for?
Yeah, from 7 a.m. to about 4 p.m. every day.
The new section looks awesome. I was
Thank
down
you.
there and Donna would be very thrilled by it. Yeah.
Doc, you might be interested in seeing our vet clinic.
I was gonna say, are you happen to be there on Saturday?
I can be.
Okay, I would love to come down there sometime, but I work Monday through Friday too. so
Yeah, I get it.
it's rough. So,
And doing something like this isn't, necessarily a bad thing for a for-profit vet like Dr. Don. Like, this would be a great thing for her to expand her veterinary practice to those at-risk populations that might be hesitant to contact a for-profit vet, for fear of what the actual prices are. So, if you have a fund set aside to help these people that might never otherwise access a veterinary care, from a for-profit perspective, then her business and all your for-profit vets can branch out into this, field of serving the underserved that might never reach out to a
Right.
for-profit vet, because that's who we serve for primarily. We serve people who maybe go to a for-profit vet, can't afford that service over there, so they come to us where we can offset the cost of that service because of the funds that we raise. You have a vet that's already on your advisory board that you don't need to build a vet clinic. If you can, leverage her in terms of, hey, would you be interested in providing some of these low-cost services to these at-risk populations that might not otherwise, afford your services? So it's a great possibility. I mean, it's an exciting time to be you guys, and anything that we can do to help you, we want to be there for you, to support you and the animals here in Carbon County, the people, and not the commissioner so much, but
well, I just wanted to throw out there too, just so you know, not kind of pat myself on the back, and Tom as well, but we did start an account at the clinic because the county themselves pay for the vaccines. But we have now people that donate, that we spay, neuter, vaccinate, heartworm test, all of these animals and treat them for Lyme disease before they go out, just through donations of people for those animals. We currently have a dog that is heartworm positive, Lyme or Ehrlichia anaplasmosis positive, that we've now been able to supplement. Otherwise, she would be one that what do you do with her? Do you know what I mean? Nobody wants to take that money pit home with them.
Right,
Yeah.
You know, so here we're able to treat her and take care of her and then be able to adopt her out.
so
So,
you're already doing it.
yeah.
You already have access to the services, so, but I can't find that on the Facebook page for the Marvin County Animal Shelter.
That's true.
When you're there tomorrow on
Yeah.
Thursday.
So what's,
That's a great thing to talk
how could
about.
I get involved in that and sending you more money?
Right,
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know that. But
Good idea.
I think there's a lot of possibilities. You have an exciting, you have county commissioners that want to do some great stuff here, so, you know, as long as you're moving forward, doing the right thing at the right times, then you're gonna have some good stuff happen. That's what it's really all about, is the good stuff, right?
Mhm, absolutely.
So feel free to reach out to us at any time.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
Thanks, Chris. How are things up at Lake Otto?
Oh, good.
Okay, good.
Gonna go up this weekend.
Are you?
Yeah, yeah. I have a house at the town. Yeah, I think you'd be cool.
You're on the other, are you on the carbon side?
So a lot of other communities coming to civil side.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't call.
Yeah.
He's a taxpayer, county taxpayer. Oh, you are? Okay, all right,
Sorry.
all right. That's
The
good. I
dams,
couldn't
the dams on the car.
Right, yeah.
While they give about the dog.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
How's your daughter? Did she enjoy it?
Yeah, it's interesting.
But it's-
I was bathing her, I just finished dinner, so I was trying to get. Oh, yeah, like
Yes.
5:30 to 7:30, family time, and then.
It should be.
We just were at the hotel.
Oh, were you?
The rest is all right.
On the main, yeah, all right, good enough. All right, thank you guys so much for those. All right,
Yeah.
Get people jazzed up about what's going on.
Yeah.
thank you, Hal, so much, appreciate it, yeah, we'll be in contact.
All right, take care.
Thanks, yeah.
You're don't worry about those.
Sometimes I think it's all.
Thank you very much.
It's like there's a lot of things that kind of.
Absolutely.
Safe travel.
It's just- Sometimes I think.
Okay, is everybody okay with me continuing?
Yes.
Okay.
Passing the rules.
Our next,
Sometimes when I come over, I have
um,
my back. My wife just tells me that means I'm doing the right thing.
All right, see you
we're
later.
here in the people. I don't have to read them, but this is next. Okay. We'd like to thank everyone that has donated this past month in January, both monetarily supplies and food. I think you're missing something, but I'm a little foggy in what the 2022 annual report is.
That was something you all were working on to put together, showing everything that was accomplished in 2022.
No, that was the list down below. That's something separate. Number 6 at the bottom of that. This is an accomplishment, right? I don't know.
All the annual, oh, he wanted the entire annual budget
Yeah.
report?
And I don't know why he wanted
I
that,
don't know, yeah.
so I'm gonna bypass that. I don't see the need to do that right now. So we'll move on to the shelter budget for 2023, which is the blue.
That, you're looking for the final, but we wouldn't have the final yet. That wouldn't be on this one, or would it?
No,
They, because they compare 22, 23 proposed.
Yeah, I think so. A month ago, we gave them the comparison.
Yeah.
Is it on there?
No, it's not just a new year.
Yeah, it's for 2023.
Yeah, I'm not sure where.
Proposed, I guess it's on the proposed budget.
Okay. Just, I'll look at the minutes over the next week and see what that was. And if it's still relevant for you all, we'll figure it out.
Okay. So I'm assuming everybody had a chance to look at this.
Yeah.
You want me to go into detail on this?
No, that should be a pre-read.
So. Anybody have any questions about the shelter budget? Okay, correspondence. We did receive an email from Christina saying that she is resigning as of the end of her term,
Yeah, which is the end of the year.
right? End of 2023. And we did receive an email from Frank giving his resignation as well, effective immediately. And then is pending approval from the county commissioners. Under old business, we have the standard operating procedure manual. I do not have any updates on that at this point in time. Meeting date. Personally, I am inclined to keep it where it's at rather than move it. Do we have any feedback on that? I know, Dr. Dunn, it's easier for you to get here.
My only recommendation was the time and the date, the Tuesday. I didn't care what Tuesday of the month, but
Okay. Does anybody have any objections to keeping it where it is?
I think the only reason we thought to change it was because,
There was some holidays in there.
well, not just that, but then with all like the budget and things would get to us,
You get
we would have everything.
So you get the full month
Full,
because
yeah.
they do, it was hard for them to do the report on the
Right.
first or the second to meet your
Yeah.
meeting. Yeah,
Right.
I think.
So
is
I
what it
think
was.
that was like that and holidays. Yeah, I think that was the main reasons, which
All right, feedback. I can go either way. I don't care. Somebody want to make a motion?
Well, if you're not changing it,
Do you want
I think you need a
my
motion.
question to you is, do you want to change it or leave it the same?
I mean, making a motion to change it.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I don't have to have these right for the meeting. So then that way, if that's the case, then we just do it like a month behind.
I don't have a problem with getting it a month behind.
So then if it's
Alright.
easier for everybody, just keep it the way that it
keep it,
is.
yeah.
Okay.
It's easier for us to,
Yes.
because it's set.
Right, I'm looking at
Right.
everybody's
Yeah.
thing. The municipal fee review,
I have that. I could have got it from Tom today.
okay,
I wrote it down so I get it right.
go ahead.
If I understand the way Tom explained it, Pennsylvania law states that each municipality must have a policy and plan in place for dog control. Each municipality in Carbon contributes to the county to be their dog control agent, so they don't have to each have an individual place to hold a stray dog. Email information was received from Corinne that at the commissioners meeting 11/17, motion was approved for the animal shelter municipal fee assessment of 2023 be based on the 2020 census totaling $12,000. This per capita fee was set at 0.01853 cents with a total countywide population of 64,749.
Okay,
So we decided we wanted to bring in at least $12,000 in revenue and then just back that up to determine the per capita rate. And then that was sent out to all the municipalities after being approved.
if there is any thought of changing it or increasing it, it should be done, I'd say before the end of June, because we have to notify the municipalities, well in advance if we're looking to do that, or if we probably pass the ordinance or change fee probably June, effective January 1st, so they can plan ahead.
we can talk about that as well. Do we have any forward movement with dog licensing at the shelter? Does anybody know?
My last conversation that I heard from Kevin was that an actual separate account had to be set up for the processing of those. I tried calling the treasurer right before I left today. Unfortunately, he had left a few minutes early, so I missed him. I wasn't able to get the update. I know they had the conversation with Marie and everything, but there's something about like another account had to be set up so they could serve as a dog licensing location.
Okay,
So I'll make sure we follow up with treasurer on that. Marie.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I did not print out the list of accomplishments either. I love the dog for life, number 4. What's that?
Love the dog for life.
Sorry.
Number 4. That's okay. I can do that one too.
Go ahead.
We want to thank the commissioners for the approval of the half price adoption for the month of February at their January 12th meeting. Regular adoption price is $100, and for the month of February, it is $50. Maria designed a flyer here for the announcement. She did this really nice. So she did just this generic flyer.
Nice.
And then we did. At the end of January, I did this flyer that had all their dogs' pictures on.
Nice.
Maria emailed it to a lot of the businesses that are supporting us and asked them to post it for us. I took it around to downtown Jim Thorpe businesses, and Corinne posted in the courthouse.
If you ever need help distributing any of that, yeah, let me know.
I did see that on the commissioner's Facebook page. I did not see it on.
Got this one? Okay.
So make sure somehow we're connected with Nicholas and Caleb when you not have something like
So
that.
does that go to them or does that go to Corinne and then she?
Get it to Corinne, just say as a friendly reminder, if you're pushing it, push it through Corinne. But, you know, we'll make sure, you know, if it's appropriate, we'll get it on our Facebook page also. As a matter of fact, we're able to do a pop-up on our website also for announcements like that. We have a pop-up feature, so when anyone hits the site, it'll pop up.
John, I guess I should add that so far on this flyer, since the month of February, Bailey, Foxy, and Mama Girl were adopted.
Nice. Who did the photos? Was that Lynn?
Lynn chose.
Yeah. Did she donate her services for that? Has anybody like thanked her? Written her a thank you or anything? Okay. Good idea.
Yeah, that was something that I was gonna bring up, maybe that we were bringing up a lot today,
Right.
but, how in December, that's why I brought up about the picture and at the perch and stuff and how that like works with thank you notes and everything.
Right.
Because in December, when I brought up the donuts from the commission, there was never really anything. Like no real thank you, and I was like, oh, is that how it kind of works with all the businesses too? And it seemed kind of strange to me. So that's why I've kind of brought that up.
Peggy, can you check with Tom and see if he did a thank you to Lynn? Because I think you said that he writes thank yous to all the donors, right? That he does. Yeah, so if you could just check with him to make sure he did give Lynn a thank you, I would appreciate it. Okay, under the category of new business. I have a question about the bylaws. We had a correction stating that the reappointment should be for a 3-year term, which will coincide with resolution 21-018. Is that something we have to vote on, sign?
No, we're done.
That's like,
I thought
because
we did
when we
that, right?
started the board, we had a 1, 2 year, 3
Right.
year. So Tom
Yeah.
was 1 year.
Okay,
Her reappointment was 3 years now, whoever's up
okay,
next year.
so we don't have to
Should be
do
two.
anything with that.
Oh, no, I remember actually. That's right, how it's explained, but we wanted a vote on it. I recall the solicitor wanted a vote on it. Bob wanted a vote just to say, yes, we
Right.
acknowledge the 3-year, you know.
Okay.
Right?
So I make a motion that we accept the proposed bylaw changes as I just read.
Yay.
Okay, now it's official.
And
Okay.
if nothing you vote on, everybody would have been up at the
Yeah,
same
all in
time.
favor, yep,
You know what I mean? Like everybody would have been up at the same time.
Yeah,
right,
You know, this
yeah, it
way,
has to,
this way.
all right.
makes sense.
Oh,
I am not going to entertain new business number 2.
Don't include me on emails,
Right,
right? That's my opinion. You guys do what you need to do.
It's-
And when it elevated to the level, you know,
nothing has to get
for me,
elevated. I think something was elevated by mistake, and I think that's
Yeah.
why
you know.
this particular,
Not unless you think it's gonna be an expense or something. we-
Yeah, exactly. You know, what's the, you know, come up with a common sense threshold, you
I
know?
think there was a little bit of something going on that we don't need to be a part of.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
yeah, just common sense.
We do not need to review the bylaws at this present time for any additional updates. And I don't know what he meant by differentiating donations. I think
that had to do with some of the donations that were coming to the animal hospital versus going to the county.
okay,
And where were those funds considered county, or were those funds considered a private donation? I had sent that email out to everybody.
Yeah,
did I not get that email?
Oh, really?
I got it.
Oh, I thought I sent it
Yeah.
back to the whole group.
Can you send it again?
I can, yep.
All right. And again, managing shelter inventory, I think that has to do with the food.
yeah, I think so.
Do we know how the dates on that food is being managed?
Food comes in, the staff or the volunteers write the dates on, and then it's
Okay.
like first, the earliest expiry, they
Okay.
use first.
So we have a process.
And Maria's keeping really good track of what's coming in, and when somebody calls to see what's needed, she knows what's needed and what we have enough.
Okay. Good enough. Okay, further business, we already talked about the name change. We're gonna revisit that. And, the next meeting is to be held on March 7th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Meeting room 44 Susquehanna Street, Jim Thorpe, PA. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
You guys will have to reorganize at some point.
Well, I said maybe next meeting.
Jerry.
Thank you, ladies, for everything you do.
Yeah, it's great.
Appreciate it.